You don't have Novo Nordisk in your portfolio. This means that you have missed out on a performance of more than 400% over the past 5 years. And the stock price continues to climb. Is Novo Nordisk still a buy at all-time high? The answer in this video. My name is Thorsten Tiet and the founder of Dividend Stocks Cash. We have more than 110,000 registered members. It's all about investing in high quality stocks, and without any doubt, Novo Nordisk is such a stock. We are analyzing it here right now. Maybe a little disclaimer, don't buy the stock just like this. If I am positive about it, please make your due diligence yourself. So, as I told you, within the last 5 years, we have here a complete yield of more than 400%, most of it from the stock price or capital gains, but Novo Nordisk is also paying dividends as well. What's interesting, if you look at the last 10 years, is that we have a twofold evolution of the stock price. Novo Nordisk was always a quality company or market leader in insulin treatment, and that anyway from 2015 to early 21 the stock was an underperformer with lackluster capital gains. Here we have an annual yield of just 1.5%. This is a complete underperformer, but then starting in early 21 the stock price really got a boost, and you see it here, suddenly annual yield starting from early 21 to today more than 50%, and most of it of course from capital gains. Now the question is why? You probably already know the reason. Treatment against obesity, a new lucrative segment, and this led to more dynamic earnings growth. You can see it here visually, and you can also see here visually much more dynamic revenue growth, and here within the last years, and also estimated for the next business years, growing margins as well. And if we have growing earnings, even without multiple expansion, the stock price will go up. But we also have multiple expansion. So you see the price earnings here, and you see that within the last years, the earnings, the price earnings ratio went up from about 20 up to more than 40. So the price earnings doubled, and this leads to absolute performance boost to Novo Nordisk on all-time high right now with a stock price of 750 Danish crowns. And now the big question is a stock still a buy? If your yield is the result of dividends and capital gains. Let's look at dividends shortly. Here you can see the dividend yield, and actual dividend yield or current dividend yield is below 1%, 0.94%, but you see here dynamic dividend growth, and in the early 26 dividend should be, based on the current stock price, 2%. So this is dynamic dividend growth. We have all the metrics about dividend earnings growth, etc. here above, but we don't need them to get the big picture. And you also have here the dividend benchmark, and here you see it's all guessing by estimates, and here you see that in 2030, based on the current stock price, dividend yield would be above 3% within six years. So this is dynamic dividend growth, but more interesting are capital gains, because you see that most of the performance comes from capital gains. And to determine potential capital gains, let's have a look at the fair value calculation, and then we see here the earnings, we see here the stock price, and now we can add the fair value based on reported earnings in this case. And when we do so, we see that current fair value is 466 Danish crowns, which is much lower compared to the stock price of 756 Danish crowns. But This fair value calculation needs to be changed in my point of view, because remember we had lackluster performance from here to there, and this was when we had earnings growth partially just around 3%. Now we have earnings growth of around 20%, which means Novo Nordisk right now as a company is much more valuable than it was before. So let's start calculating the average price earnings we use to determine the fair value, not in 2014 but in 21, by pressing left mouse button and dragging it over the area, and then we get this. And if I zoom in, and now you see that from 25 the average price earning jumped to 33. Current is about around 40. It means we still have overvaluation of the stock based on the latest fair value of 610 Danish crowns. But the decisive, what is really important right now is, because we have dynamic earnings growth, the fair value will reach the current stock price at the end of the current year around, and then it will be beyond the current stock price, which means that you have, if you buy the stock right now, today, and you keep it in your portfolio till the end of 25, you already have an expected annual yield of close to 10%, which is already outperforming the broad market. And if you keep the stock 1 year longer, your annual yield climbs from close to 10 to 12.4%, because this company has dynamic dividend growth, and if you keep the stock even 1 year longer in your portfolio, it still climbs a little bit more, close to 30%. So in my point of view, this scenario is realistic. It is not without any risk. We have competition, we have politics and price pressure through politics, we have maybe production problems. So there are some risks, but it is possible that this scenario I am just telling you here becomes reality, and that although Novo Nordisk is on all-time high right now, it is still a lucrative investment. So this is my point of view. I like Novo Nordisk. I have them in one of my portfolios also. Unfortunately, not as much as I would like to have. Maybe I'm also going to buy some more. Would you recommend me buying some more Novo Nordisk stocks? Please drop a comment below. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.